This is the Ramana Maharshi Satsang. I'm reading and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita. So listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. Ramana's teaching is deep and profound, and I just want to share it. Right now, I'm reading from and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita. This is really a Nidhyasana text written where it is best to deeply meditate with it, not just listen to the words. Now I'm on chapter 18, verses 13 through 16. And in this chapter, Ashtavakra is talking of peace and the peace of the sage. The yogi who is liberated while living has no duties in this world, no attachments in his heart. His life proceeds without him. For the great soul who abides beyond desire, where is illusion? Where is the universe? Where is meditation on that? Where even is liberation from them? He who sees the world may try to renounce it, but what can the desireless one do? He sees there is nothing to see. He who has seen the Supreme Brahma thinks I am Brahma. But he who has transcended all thought, what can he think? He knows no other than self. So let's break these verses down. Chapter 18, verse 13. The yogi who is liberated while living has no duties in this world, no attachments in his heart. His life proceeds without him. This verse speaks of one who has realized the self. They no longer feel bound by responsibilities or attachments because they no longer identify with the individual ego. Life continues naturally without the feeling of personal control or effort. This isn't carelessness, but rather a deep trust in the natural flow of existence. Ashtavakra highlights the effortless nature of life for someone who has realized the self. When you no longer identify as the doer, life unfolds naturally, like leaves moving in the wind. The absence of attachment doesn't mean you stop caring. Rather, caring arises without personal striving. Actions become spontaneous and appropriate because they're no longer shaped by ego-driven desires. For your spiritual practice, this verse invites you to observe how much effort is spent managing outcomes. By stepping back from that need to control, you may discover a deeper trust in life's natural flow. 18:14. For the great soul who abides without desire, where is illusion? Where is the universe? Where is meditation on that? Where even is liberation from them? This verse reveals that when desire drops away, the boundaries of reality itself dissolve. Without craving or grasping, there is no sense of separation, no distinct universe to contend with, no illusion to overcome, and no concept of liberation to seek. The one who abides in the self sees that all distinctions are imagined. Distinctions are for the mind. Realization is beyond any mind. This verse points to a profound inner stillness. For the one who abides in contentment, the mind is no longer seeking or avoiding anything. Concepts like illusion, liberation, or spiritual practice lose their urgency because nothing is missing. This doesn't mean you stop meditating or engaging in spiritual work. Rather, these activities become natural expressions of peace instead of steps towards a goal. The message here is to recognize that what you seek is already present. By resting in stillness, you find that all striving quietly dissolves. 1815. He who sees the world may try to renounce it, but what can the desireless one do? He sees there is nothing to see. This verse contrasts two perspectives. The seer who sees the world as real may attempt to withdraw from it. But for the one free of desires, there is no struggle to let go. They see the world as an appearance, like a passing shadow. With nothing to grasp or avoid, there is no effort to renounce anything. Ashtavakra invites you to notice the difference between seeking peace and recognizing that peace is already here. The one who feels burdened by the world may try to escape it through isolation, rituals, or strict discipline. But the one who is free of desires sees that no escape is needed because nothing is holding them back. This understanding can transform your spiritual practice. Instead of wrestling with thoughts or emotions, you can see them as passing appearances, requiring no resistance. This shift from effort to simple awareness allows a deeper peace to emerge. 1816. He who has seen the Supreme Brahma thinks, I am Brahma. But he who has transcended all thoughts, what can he think? He knows no other than self. This verse points to the final stage of spiritual understanding. At first, recognizing the self may appear as a mental realization, I am Brahman. But deeper still is the state where even that thought dissolves. In this silence, there is no separation, only pure being. This verse addresses the final moment of spiritual insight, the release of even the highest concept, I am Brahman. While recognizing your true nature as the self can be a powerful realization, this verse points to something quieter still, a state where even that thought dissolves. When you no longer define yourself in any way, what remains is pure being. For your practice, Ashtavakra invites you to explore what happens when you let go of ideas about what awakening should feel like. In the silence before thought, there is a presence that needs no description. And that presence is what you are. These verses guide you to a deep sense of inner freedom, where the need for control, striving, or even spiritual concepts fall away. They point to the peace that arises when you rest as the self, beyond desires and mental labels. And now we'll have a talk from my teacher, Nome, Beyond Body, Mind, and Ego.
In the quest to realize absolute being, what you are seeking to know, you are. And the inquiry to know the self consists in the destruction of the falsely assumed individuality, which is abidance as that very absolute being. In worshiping God, the Supreme Lord of the universe, what you worship, you are. And the devotion or worship consists of the dissolution of the falsely supposed separate individuality. Leaving the infinite to remain as it perpetually is. Just inquire deeply into your own true nature. Discern how it is not possible, in truth, for you to be a body, or a mind, or an ego entity. How could an objectively perceived, sense-perceived, sporadically occurring thing called the body be you? You who are of the nature of being and consciousness and bliss. how could the attributes of a body be your attributes? Birth, death, active, inactive, and so forth and so on. The connection, the false connection, that seems to tie together yourself of the nature of being, consciousness, bliss with the body is ignorance. If just that much ignorance is given up, abandoned in the light of clear knowledge, what troubles would you have? What veils would there be to cover the innate bliss of the being consciousness that you are? Thinking may be useful for dealing with other thoughts, but of what use can it be in knowing the consciousness, which is the solitary knower of all the thoughts? None of the thoughts know you. You know all of them. How could there possibly be a connection, a binding that connects you to the mind? Free of a body, free of a mind, not defining your very existence in terms of these things, what remains of you? Beyond the body, the mind and the ego, the last being purely imagination. What remains is your true existence, which is what you are always. Cease to misidentify as a body, as a mind, as an individual. There is then no limit, no bondage. There is then no reality apart from the self. There is then nothing else existing at any time. Just oneself, yourself, naturally eternal, innately infinite. Every idea of being bound, every idea of being limited in any way, as something distinct or apart from the absolute reality of being, consciousness, bliss, Brahman, is merely a case of misidentification, taking yourself to be an I, a mind, a body. Then once having mistaken oneself to be an I, a mind, and a body, trying to figure out what is real, or how to get to the reality, or how to find God, or how to reach the self, as if that self, the reality, or God, were something far away, or apart from you. Dissolve the false definitions of you, and that which you're hoping to find is self-evident as your very existence, as continuous as your very existence. If the blissful truth is what you want, dive inwardly, deep, in this way.
All right. And now we're going to take some time to look within ourselves and inquire, to look at what had been said in the Ashtavakra verses in terms of your own experience. You exist. You know that you exist. Just notice that you exist, and you know that you exist. And inquire, how can I recognize when I'm acting from ego rather than allowing life to unfold naturally? Can I allow myself to rest in the quietness where nothing needs to be attained? Can I recognize moments when everything feels complete without striving or resistance? Can I sense the presence of awareness before my thoughts arise? Now, you don't sense the presence of awareness as a sensory experience. You know the presence of awareness as knowledge, self knowledge. Who am I? What do I take myself to be? And who am I really? What am I? What is the nature of my existence? What actually is this? All right. And we'll close with a short chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right. Now, Bruce, do you have any kind of questions or comments, or especially how did that make you feel and know yourself?
Uh, Thank you. Uh, I guess, in a sense, I would call this a guided meditation, in
Yes,
a sense.
yes.
And I find it quite profound. I felt very comfortable. Uh, there are certain things uh, I reflected on during the course of the meeting, and it seems very familiar to me. So I don't really
Uh-huh.
I felt very comfortable.
That's good.
I didn't feel any need to, judge it or it was very nice. I like the singularity of your role, uh, and I certainly like the readings that you presented, the Ashtavakra Gita, and it's directly related to what my studies are and my practices.
Hmm.
One of the activities that I'm engaged in right now is we're doing it's a language class, Tamil language class, but we're using I don't know if you know Robert Butler. Um, he's a devotee of Bhagavan's, but he's given us a book that's quite nice. It's 40 the Uludu Narpadu, 40 verses on reality.
Oh, yes, yes. Very familiar with that.
Yeah, so but it's also so we have a group that we're working on studying some Tamil, and we're also working with the translations that we have a couple Tamil speakers in the group, and
Hmm.
so that's helpful. And we are working on I wouldn't call them translations, but we're sort of our own
Hmm.
impressions, if you want to
Right,
call it.
renditions or something. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very, very, very positive, and I liked your meeting though. It was very, very, very nice. Thank you. I
Well,
hope I didn't say too much or
no, that's
whatever, but
good. Now, what I was after was just what you did. We've been doing this together for some time, years, and it's good to have someone else uh, who has, kind of the inner knowledge join us.
it's a real pleasure, and
Well,
it's
Pretty
so.
pretty
Go
soon
ahead.
to be able to say something in Tamil.
Yes, we're immensely impressed that you're trying to learn Tamil. That after
Well,
8 years, it was like not happening for me.
it's
yeah,
the Robert Butler's book is a very helpful book. He's a very skilled linguist.
Hmm.
oh, that's
So
good.
yeah, yeah. So and he's done a lot of translations of Sri Muruganar's work,
Oh,
as well
good.
as Bhagavan's work, and as well as Sadhu Om.
Uh-huh.
So really a very, very mainline devotees
God, that's
related
right.
to Bhagavan. Yeah.
That's good. Now, uh, I think I have a book on Amazon, commentary on the 40 verses.
Hmm.
I also, you said you got started with uh, talks, and most mornings I take something from talks and uh, kind of do with it what I was doing with the Ashtavakra Gita, read it
Hmm.
and try to provide insight so that uh, you can experience what he's talking about.
Yes.
So anyway, very good, and glad to meet you, and glad to meet,
Wonderful to meet you too.
and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Namo
Namaste.
Ramanaya. Yep.
Namaste. Thank you, Richard.